What's up, mob? Hey, it feels like it's been forever since there's been a race. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like forever. This weekend, we've got a Triple Crown in the desert of Glendale, Arizona, which is just right on the outside of Phoenix. Phoenix, Glendale, same thing. We got some bad news. Pro Circuit, Cameron McAdoo is out. Apparently hurt his shoulder bad enough that he has surgery. Man, and you know if Cameron is not racing, it's really bad because this is probably one of the toughest guys in the sport or that I've ever seen around the sport. So for him not to race speaks volumes on how serious this injury is. So who knows when he's going to be back. What a bummer for Pro Circuit, I guess. He had some sort of an issue with the bike in the whoops, which that's bad. I mean, the bike goes, it's a scary sport. We've had a lot of that this year with bike failures causing crashes and injuries. Let's not forget Brandon Hartraft. It almost cost him his ability to walk, and he's still rehabbing and learning. And yeah, it's gnarly. It's a tough sport these guys do. It's brutal. Glendale, it's also a futures round, which affects the way they build the track. This track has had a whoop section with 13 whoops according to the track map. How mellow will they make them for the futures? I don't know. I hope they just build the track normal, let the futures race. You got some really good future racers coming through. Julian Bomer, Juju, Daxton Bennett, who's won the first two so far, and a newcomer to the group, Caden Lewis. This is a friend of mine, such a nice family out of Kingman, Arizona. Caden Lewis is an arena cross racer taking a non-traditional route to the pros. I've known him since he was a little kid racing BMX. Watch for him. I don't expect him to be on the podium or anything, but cheer for Caden Lewis. He's an Arizona guy in Glendale this weekend, so watch for him. This track gets really hard, and no matter what they do with these whoops, it's going to be gnarly. We've got Cole Seeley and Anthony Rodriguez both riding 450s for the MCR team. I assume this is a World Supercross warm-up. And joining World Supercross, they came out with their first rider list. Justin Hill will be racing World Supercross this year, and that's awesome. And I'm a big fan of the World Supercross. Let's not forget that's coming, and we need to support them. They've created some competition for the American Series, and that's done nothing but make things better. So without further ado, let's get into the actual cliff notes in the 450 class.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
In the 450 class, we've got Cooper Webb with a red plate. We've got Eli Tomac with a red plate. But it feels like Tomac's got the advantage. He's got the momentum. He just beat Cooper head-to-head in Seattle. I mean, that was a battle. Cooper gave everything. It was Cooper's night, Cooper's ruts, Cooper's track. It was everything that suited him. He should have won. He didn't. Tomac held him off. Now, Glendale, it's complete reverse. Everything leans towards Tomac. He's super fast at Glendale. He has wins closer to his hometown. And Webb isn't real good in this. Like, he doesn't struggle in the whoops like he used to. He's still good at them, but it's not his strength. And with these hard-packed whoops, you just got to skim them, and you got to skim them fast. And not to mention, Tomac is still really good at Triple Crowns. Chase Sexton coming in here, pressure's off. He's 22 points behind these guys. And it almost looks like he's out of the championship. He's not. I mean, he could easily go on a run, and there's enough fast guys to get in between the top guys. I mean, you take one or two bad races from Webb and Sexton, or Webb and Tomac, and add Sexton in as a win, and you got yourself a title, a three-way title hunt again. Will it happen? I don't know. He won a Triple Crown at Anaheim too. We'll see what he can do here. Ken Roxon. Let's not forget Roxon. Last time he raced, or not last time, but at one point when he was riding for Honda, he did a Triple Crown here at Glendale. He was the first rider to ever win all three main events. He's good on this dirt when he's in the right headspace. Yes, he's on the Suzuki. It's not as good a bike, in my opinion. I'm not going to have this argument with you guys. I'm convinced it's not as good. It's just a little outdated. Ken Roxon is so good, when he decides to win, he can still win. Just because the bike isn't as good doesn't mean he's not a threat. And if he decides to win this, he could absolutely win this Triple Crown. Or he could get eighth, whatever he feels like that night. Jason Anderson, you just get this weird feeling about him and Kawasaki, like they're headed for a split. I don't know, it just doesn't seem well. He is really good at Triple Crowns. He's fast. He's not consistent. He's typically wins one or two, and then he's on the podium a lot of the times. He doesn't necessarily win all the Triple Crowns, but he wins a lot of these heats. And watch for that. Justin Barcia, in a contract year, he's riding amazing. Kind of funny how that is, right? How is this guy always so much considerably better every single contract year? Just sign him to one-year deals. Although right behind him in this series is Aaron Plessinger, who will probably be his new teammate over at Gas TLD. Looks like they're doing 2 450s in 2024, and I think that'd be a perfect fit. Move him over. He's already gotten comfortable with this brand. Aaron has proved he can win. He didn't win, but he proved, I don't know if anyone else thinks he can't win. He can absolutely win. And he might get one before this series is over. But yeah, look for him to be the Gas teammate of Justin Barcia next year with 2 450s. Christian Craig, gosh, he's been quiet. He needs more. This is not good. It's not what he wants. He needs some sort of flash. He needs a podium. He needs something to build off of. He does have a contract for next year, because if he didn't, this would probably be the end of Christian Craig. But luckily, he's not in the last year of his contract, but he still desperately needs something to really get him back up there. Adam Cincerillo's racing. He's fast, guys, but his body is letting him down. It's sad to watch. His wrist just isn't where it needs to be. Justin Hill is now a consistent top 10 guy. Justin Hill's awesome. And he's going World Supercross. He might win that thing, guys. He's so much talent. Let's not forget, he was a West Coast Supercross champion. I mean, the guy's good. Dean Wilson, consistently where he's at. He's also going World Supercross. Joey Savacci is also going World Supercross. He is not racing anymore in the United States. Colt Nichols is back. Colt Nichols is going to race this weekend, coming back from the concussions. Props to him for sitting out and getting right. So, guys, remember, thank EBC Brakes. EBC Brakes has been with me for a long time. They support the mob. Steve, James, everybody. They have a giant warehouse in Las Vegas. Yeah, they make some good stuff. Support EBC Brakes. Complete Racing Solutions. You guys know Coach Rob. If you do any sort of training or diet, anything, just hit up Coach Rob. He's got programs that start at $22. He bases the programs around your work schedule. It's not a one-size-fits-all type program. He customizes it to you specifically. And he uses actual data, knowledge, and feedback to make those schedules. And Epic Garage Designs. Epic Garage, guys, we're adding to this all the time. Now we have the cabinets, the floors, slat wall, racks, overhead racks, and then we also have totes, a tote holder. Or, you see your garage, the Home Depot ones, they look all janky, the totes don't fit right. We got a perfect setup right here. You buy it all in one, and we get you dialed in, get your garage cleaned up and looking good. So, all right, guys, let's get into the 250s. In the 250 class, it's the Jett Lawrence class. Jett is the guy. But is he going to finally win a Triple Crown? He hasn't been good at Triple Crowns. And if you guys remember when he did the interview with Daniel in Seattle, Daniel Blair, and they asked him, he's like, oh, it's a Triple Crown. And he's like, oh, Jett's just being funny. But at the same time, that's very real. He's had issues in Triple Crowns. So can he get over it? I think he does. He's just too good, and especially without McAdoo out there, that's one less guy that can really challenge him. So that just kind of leaves RJ and then the two Yamahas and maybe Enzo Lopes. But RJ's fast. I look for RJ to maybe sneak one of these moto wins, and if Jett has a hard time, he's the guy that's going to capitalize. Cameron McAdoo, we talked about, he's out with that shoulder injury. Mitchell Oldenburg, quietly in 4th place in the points, looks really good. The veteran rider just hanging around there, riding for MCR, just kicking ass. Good for Oldenburg. Enzo Lopes, he went from dead last to 4th in Seattle. Enzo is finding his groove as a pro. He's finally coming into his own. He'll probably get some noise. I don't know who he's going to sign with next year, or if he'll stay with the club, or what he's planning on doing, but he will have some suitors moving into 2024. The guy right behind him, Levi Kitchen, reportedly has a deal on the table for Red Bull KTM, 2 years. Maybe he signs it, maybe he doesn't. We'll have to see on that one. Max Voland. Max has looked much better, guys. He's awesome. He's very maligned in the sense of we've expected more out of him, and I don't think that's fair. They moved him up early. He's only had a few Supercross races. I mean, I think it's like his 12th race in his 3rd year. He's had injuries. It hasn't gone well. That wasn't the original plan. He should have just been turning pro. And if he was just turning pro getting these results, we'd be like, oh, cool. But we're not. This is a show me sport, and he hasn't shown much, but I still think he's a guy. Pierce Brown. Pierce Brown is fast. He won the heat race at Seattle. I expected a podium, and something happened. And that's just the story of Pierce's career to this point. Super fast, something happens. Super fast, something happens. I look for him to podium one of these 3 events here, or 3 races at Glendale. He's going to be right there, and he might even get the podium in overall, but expect him to battle inside that top 5. Styles Robertson on that Star Yamaha. Gosh, he was doing so good. He had that big crash in the whoops. Looked like he was hurt with a collarbone or shoulder. I talked to him. He's going to be okay. He's going to race. I know he took a few days off, but look for him to be right back there. He did win one of the races at Anaheim too when they had the Triple Crown, so maybe the Triple Crown's his thing, and he was on the podium, so maybe Styles can get back up there. All right, guys, remember, subscribe, and thank you for watching the Cliff Notes version from Glendale.